Okay, here's number 2 on Form A. This was solved by factoring. Solved by factoring is out of Unit 5. And this person decided to complete the square, which works, but it was specifically set up as a solved by factoring problem. If you recall, solving by factoring requires it to equal 0, as does using the quadratic formula. But when we solve by factoring, our goal is to find factors of C that when you add them together will give you B. In this case, B is negative 14. So factors of 24 that we need, 1 times 24 doesn't work. 2 and 12 is the right set. However, 2 times 12 isn't going to add together to give us negative 14, which tells me that I have to use a negative 12 and a negative 2. So when I factor this polynomial, it becomes x minus 12 times x minus 2 equals 0. To solve it, I take each factor and I set it equal to 0. And I just solve the resulting equation using inverse operations. So I get one answer of x equals 12 and one answer of x equals 2. And it's done. And that's only because this one is factorable. Now we have to remember that with quadratics, we can solve them 3 different ways. Factoring we learned in Unit 5, completing the square was 9.4, and quadratic formula was 9.5. The last way to solve them is by graphing, which we did in Unit 6, Part 1, but it's not always the best method because it requires us to make a graph. And when we can use inverse operations or algebra to solve them, it's a lot easier. So that's why these 3 are the 3 that I gave you on the quiz.